Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Hope you like the new chart colors. I decided to try and customize them onto the color scheme a little bit more. So we'll start off by looking at the daily here. So looks like we have a daily gap right here. And obviously it looks like we swept previous day high here. Now we drop down to the 4 hour. This range is still valid, so I'll draw this out right here. We have a H4 fair value gap here that we're acting off of. What is this? Another H4. I would like to be bearish today, to be honest, but obviously we have this gap right here, so we can't be too aggressive going short. $15. So I see some relative equal highs here. There's a large 15-minute imbalance. What I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to remove this range, or like move it over a little bit. Move it to like 9 o'clock, so it's not like interrupting us. Looking at the 1 minute chart. There's the H4. We have this resting sell side here just above this daily fair value gap. There is some more sell side there. Sell side. Looks like a low resistance liquidity run as well. Let me just turn off the sessions. Yeah. Yeah. Also, we have this large new week opening gap just here as well. Or new day opening gap, not new week opening gap. And we have a high side of a M15 gap. So if we want lower, this is going to be our short-term range for a potential retracement. And obviously we have this M15 right on the 50% here. Mark out the one that's in like heavy discount. Okay, so I'm looking at ES as well, and there is an SMT. Yeah, quite strange actually. It doesn't line up properly. Obviously, the move's already delivered off of this, so we'll keep an eye on this. If NQ or ES takes this low, this is going to be my draw right now for a launch back into all-time highs. We'll mark out these M15s. Actually, is there a like 30-minute or something? H1 30-minute. This 30 minutes clearer, to be honest. It doesn't really matter too much. They overlap anyway. Okay. We have three 15-minute fair value gaps right here. Let's look at 8:30. So 8:30. I don't want to look way over there. 8:30 expanded or manipulated, depending on how you look at it. But I'm going to call this. Let me pull up the cheat sheet here. Okay, so if this is manipulation, we're going to see a 9:30 expansion. Or we should. It's not 100%. Obviously, nothing. But if this is manipulation down towards these lows, we should see 30 expansion. Mark this out as a sell side sweep for a little bit. "38 minutes until this 4-hour candle closes." So obviously, if we come down, sweep this low, and then we close the H4 candle over here, then that will be our, sweep of this low basically into this daily fair value gap. We can look for a nice long. But we did sweep out previous day's high, and this looks sort of a market maker sell model, but we can't really tell that until we get the low risk sell. It hasn't really been. The low risk sell would be this IFEG here, but we didn't really have a retracement back into it. The hourly candle closed pretty bearish though. Doesn't mean much at all-time highs though, to be honest. So here's our range, and here is our 50-minute FEG sat above. We have relative equal highs. We have a high inside of a 50-minute bearish imbalance, and then we also have sell side down here, just above this daily fair value gap. Obviously, we have the 4-hour as well that we could potentially react off of, depending on how we close. Now, what would I like to see? This is what I'd like to see. So going into 9:30, or like running up to, I'd like to see this. That's what I'd like to see. Will we get it? No. But if we do, that's going to be the dream scenario. We will just wait and see. So we do have buy side here. And sell side at this low. We don't really need to allow because we've already got the fib. It'll take me a little while to get used to this chart. I've changed the colors over so it's a little bit more personalized, I guess. Move the chart over here. All right, so we've got 5 minutes until market open here. I'm just going to quickly take a look at PM session yesterday, because obviously we had FOMC. So here's PM. Wow. Here's the FOMC candle. This looks like FOMC data high. And then had like some sort of maybe he said good morning. And this is what happened. Yeah, this is the sell side target, I think. Yeah, it is. Okay. Right, I'll be back shortly. So the range actually starts from here rather than up here. This is the start of the impulse move, and also the last leg that didn't balance 50%. So it also sits us quite nicely with this 15-minute here. Okay, so here's market open. Keeping a close eye on this sell side here. So we did sweep some sell side here. The fair value gap. This is the first presented FVG, so if it's a sensitive level, price will react off of this and come lower. Like I say, I would have liked to have seen this taken here, but it's not compulsory. So there's a 15-minute. Price did already run this 15-minute during FOMC. So it's not as strong as if it was a standalone, but we'll see. I currently want to see longs off of this sell side daily FEG here. But there's no valid FEGs here to try and long off of. So this one's too small, for example. Okay, so there's the sweep into the daily gap. Ideally, we leave a gap here and then we inverse. There's a mini SMT here. There is also a low resistance liquidity run. We go up a time frame with the 5 minute. You can see it's right here. There's a huge H4. But even if we really wanted to short here, there was nothing like, you can't really be short in candles like this. This candle swept sell side 3 times. So here's this sell side. Looks like we're currently inside this low resistance liquidity run. Yeah, I do want to see this low taken here now. But we just could keep going lower into the new week opening gap. Price action hasn't been great the past couple of days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So hopefully we get something today, but I'm not going to force anything. Clear this up a little bit. So it looks like this H4 gap here is providing a little bit of resistance. Sorry, support here. Although I do still want to see this low get taken. I think we may just keep going down here, given this. ES is currently inside of the new week opening gap. So there's a very big SMT as well. Looks like price did just sweep this low. We are reacting. Thing is, there's no inversion. It was a very small sweep. My thinking is that we could possibly get a retracement. I'm going to delete this as the current range. Move this down. One. Gain one. Just move it here. We could get a potential continuation. I did think we would expand at 9:30. Just quite annoying that we have not been able to get an entry. Not really anything to long. No, like this, it's all huge gaps here. Unless we get a secondary dig, although with a displacement and then a 30-second IFEG long, it's just not. There's nothing here. This was a very small liquidity sweep though. Like, it's literally like a tick. So we're gonna get a 15-minute FEG here, I think. Well, no, another 5-minute here, and we'll just mark out this whole range. But then again, we've still got EQ anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Like I said, I'd like to long this, but there's no inversions. Like, you need to wait for the whole. Like, if it was a singular inversion, like say, for example, right here, say there was a nice, decent sized singular 30-second inversion, or right here, then it'd be extremely valid, and I would definitely take it. But there's nothing. It's all wicks, and then obviously right here you've got so many different inversions. This whole range, you can't just wait for one of them to get closed above. You need to wait for the whole thing. The whole area is unbalanced. There's nothing here I'd like to take. Not even, I wouldn't even like to take this short if it gives us. There's no reason to. Like I say, I want to see longs. If the trade conflicts with what I want to see, I won't normally take it. So obviously this closure here, like, we've barely swept any liquidity. We've tapped into a gap that's not even finished forming yet on the M15. And I want to see this low get swept for a run higher. So why would I then short if my break-even point's going to be here? You know, the risk to reward is not enough to, like, even if we now got a closure here, like, what is your risk to reward to try and take this? Obviously, it's not going to close here, is it? But say, for example, it did. You're just pushing a 1-to-1. It's just not worth the risk. And it's not even a good setup either. It's not even an A. It's not even an A setup. It's a B setup. The FVG is too small. You barely swoop down in liquidity. Yes, you're tapping into an imbalance, but when you've got so much of this here and you've not tapped EQ of the range yet. So yeah, I'd like to see a retracement up here for a potential short further down into the new week opening gap. That's what I'd like to see. We close this 5 minute, yeah. Okay, so we have this whole area is imbalance. This is what we call a void, liquidity void. There's no singular FVG that you could take here. Obviously, if we closed above the entire range, it's a different story. You know, if we closed up here, but then your stop loss is huge, you know, it's still not going to be worth it. Yeah, we might get EQ here for a potential continuation short. We'll see how this closes, because obviously we do have a 4 hour here that we're looking to see. We get a closure below, and that closes in 15 minutes. So this M15 only reaching back up here. If we drop lower, like we say, we took this low but barely, so I do still want to see lower. Good on the 30, yeah. There's EQ. So this is some momentum though, you know. Have to be a nice setup short. Like this, I think, for example, if we got this inversion, I'd take this short. Oh, we might get it, to be fair. Just gonna tease me. Tease me, tease me. We'll see, we'll see. This is the first presented, apologies. This is the first presented FVG here. This closure is technically valid for a long on the M1, but you're already inside of an M5. Oh, looks like that little tiny liquidity sweep is enough. Literally like a tick, is it? We'll soon find out if it comes with down again. Yeah, literally one tick. Easy work. Anyway, we have left this 50-minute gap. See if price wants to fill this for a immediate rebalance. I know the chart looks a little bit messy in a minute. I'll not be like this. So many imbalances, it's difficult. I like to only keep the ones of reference. Loads of boxes all over the chart. No, it looks insane. Okay, so the high of this is this 15-minute immediate rebalance. Which we got. So this is no longer an M15 gap. So there's the M1 first presented FVG. I can't believe that we just ran up like this. No entry whatsoever. There's no inversion that you could have took here. Apart from this, but then your stop loss is huge. You know, you got to cover all this area, and for a 1-for-1, you're going to have to target all the way up here. Which I guess is fine, but that's just crazy. Anyway, let's move this back to our previous range right here. And we have just tapped EQ of it. So if we sweep out this buy side, we'll see. There's an M15 order block here. I'd be surprised if this just melts though, to be honest, the way this candle's gone. A difficult one today. I mean, price action is definitely a little bit better than it has been, but just moving pretty mad. ES was the same. There's not really any longs that you could take on ES. There is an SMT here though. Price is currently running up higher though, so it may not matter. I was contemplating taking this 5-minute buy, but I really don't want to see it sweep any buy side, which already has, so it's already off the table. This is what I wanted to see here. That's what I wanted to see with a 30-second inversion right here. Obviously, we didn't get that. It's very tempting to take this 5-minute buy, but I just can't, like, you know, like rationalize it. It's I'd be buying once liquidity's already swept. I've already rebalanced 50% of this range. I'd like to short this, but again, price is so bullish, I can't rationalize it, you know? I think what I'd want to see right here, right now, is a retracement long. I think that's what I would want to see. We have this big M5 IFEG. But we do have an M5 right here. And yeah. Like I say, if this closes below, I do like this for a short. It's very mechanical though. That's the only problem. We've swept buy side inside of there, and we've tapped into an M15 FVG here. So it's a mechanical A plus, and subjectively it's not terrible because we do have the new week opening gap below. But looking at the H4, like we're closing here, so there's no body closure below this, so it's not valid yet. What does the M1 look like? Not really anything. It just depends how price wants to close inside of this H4. Like I said, this is a very mechanical A plus if it does come. There is SMT as well. SMT right here. That's why this isn't bad. You've swept buy side, tapped into a higher time frame FVG. I don't think price is going to give us that retracement that we want. This M5 closes here in about 30 seconds. Thought that might happen. So we're entering the 10 o'clock here. Macro started about 10 minutes ago. This could be a silver bullet long here. It's a shame that we didn't get an entry. I really would have taken this. It is a shame. Even a small 30-second, like maybe below this low, would have been absolutely perfect. So obviously we did close above on the M5. We have a valid M5 closure. And there's nothing else. Like the only other thing that I could like think about taking would be to take a confirmation setup off the M5 closure. So if we got like a 30-second inversion here, bullish, it would be a confirmation setup and you could get in and take that. Looks like price wants to come down here for a little bit. And I don't really mind this for a short. For an M1. Alright guys, I'm going to take this here. I think. I'll give it a second. Giving it a second. Giving it a second. Alright. I mean, it's only a small position. Move these. Okay, so there's our break even. Our break even is going to be here. There's our break even. My stop is now at break even. My first TP is going to be this low. Looks like I'm going to get stopped at break even straight away here though. This is the only issue with trying to take a short when price is bullish in the short term, especially when we're chopping in a small range. Okay, that's break even. I'll just mark out this how I did it. And the reason why I was so overly cautious with the stop being at break even was because of this tight range, and obviously we were so bullish here. I'm still expecting a continuation long. So. Yeah, we did get stopped at break even on that one. So. This is the first presented FEG that we're currently reacting off, as well as a stacked M5. Again, there's no bearish inversions that I could take here if we even think about going long. Which is a shame because obviously we did have the M5 closure above the IFEG. So this is like the perfect scenario for a bullish confirmation setup. Looks like we left equal lows here. Price is behaving a bit mad now, I can't lie. I really want to clean up the chart a little bit, but there's just too much going on, to be honest. Got this H4. How do we close on H4? About consequent encouragement. Okay, so I'll drag this like all the way over here so we know that it's there. Do we still have this SMT? No, we don't. Instead, this an SMT? Did ES take this high? No. There's no bearish SMT at the minute, which would indicate that the price doesn't want to go which would indicate the price doesn't want to go bearish, obviously. But we do have a huge bullish SMT. I'm not going to mark it up because it's like the new week opening gap. So again, no confirmation. It just doesn't want to give us a long entry here. The only long entry that you could have taken would be this M5, but even then you'd already swept buy side liquidity and you'd already tapped into the M15 right here. So it's risky taking a long that's already tapped into, you know, your A+ short criteria. You have conflicting trades here. This is why I took this short, because technically it was an A+, but I was super conservative with my break even because I expected a confirmation long, but it was giving us no bearish. I don't know, man. It is what it is. I went low risk and I went conservative with my stop loss, so it's fine. But it is what it is. I really want to see EQ here with a bearish displacement. Maybe tap into this lower M5 with a long setup. That's what I want to see. And if we get short-term SMT, even better. That's what I want to see. I'm going to keep that there. Okay, so there's relative equal lows. And this 5-minute FVG here for 15. There's no 15. This is just a 5-minute FVG. This is our first bearish displacement that we can really look for a long off. Not entering any positions here. I'm just placing a order bracket just in case we do get this inversion. Yeah, this is ideal. This is exactly what I want to see here. This M1, it could be a breakaway here, so we shouldn't touch this. So there is an M1 here as well, so this would be cleaner. So I'll mark this out as an M1 instead of 30-second. I'll watch on a 30-second edge because there's more going on. Pleases my redness. Looks like we might just get exactly what we want here. This will be the trade of the year if we get exactly this. Fucking notifications, dude. Now, if we get exactly what I'm looking for here and it's a loser, that's the best loss. I don't think there's a better loss that could be taken than that. We've waited the whole session. We've been patient. We've marked out exactly what we want to see. If we want to leave this 5-minute as a breakaway, I wouldn't mind because there is multiple time frame FEGs here. We just have to solid close above this M1 and it'd be valid. But what we may see is something similar to this pattern. Where we come up, we tap this FEG, we come back down again, then we get the inversion. Obviously, if we solid close above, then we're fine. What's getting me though is this. It's like tiny, you know. Normally when we get a tiny speed like this, price likes to come back down. References it as relative equal lows. Anyway, it's still valid, so we'll still take the M1 long here if we got it. That's really going to give us a short setup here. No, it's not. The FEG is too small. Okay, so I may have just called that exactly how. A difficult one because if this closed above, I'd still take it. But I want to see this. Oh, excuse me. One price, give me what I want. I can do with a good trade. It's very minus all side actually. Oh, well, still counts. Alright guys, I'm going to take this here. We got this closure. Oh, we didn't close above. We did on the M1. I'll wait for the 30-second though. There's a 30-second FEG here. And that's why we always wait for the you know, every time from FVG that's printed to close. Like, although the M1 closed, there was a 30-second that was slightly bigger that we closed inside of. So that's why we wait. That's why we wait for those. Alright guys, so if we do get the closure here, I'll be taking this. It would have to close above this 30-second gap here. Which it is yet to do. That's not a valid closure. Not a valid closure. That's the importance of candle closures. Yeah, look, if you notice there's an IFEG right here. It's 30-second IFEG that we're still holding. See how we react here. I kind of want to see a close above the IFEG. Just because we've been holding it. Still no closure. Dying for a wee. Can we hurry up and do something already? So because we didn't have such a clean delivery, I'm thinking we might just get choppy here. But I'm still going to stay on the chart because we could get exactly what I wanted here. So this could print a 30-second FEG, for example. Which would actually be an even nicer entry, to be honest. It just depends. We'll see how it prints. And this is exactly why this was a risky long, you know? There wasn't really any short setup apart from the one that we did take. We got stopped at break even, but this is super choppy anyway, so I probably wouldn't even want to be sat in this considering we're currently looking for longs. But this to me looks like price wants to continue down here. So I don't think we're going to get a long setup. But if we didn't get stopped at break even, this would have been this wouldn't have been a loss because we didn't close above the IFEG. Obviously, the hard stop is at the high, so then we would be in profit, but it's just less than ideal, really. ES is like super slow. We are engineering buy side here, so again, we get this valid. We're right in OTE as well. So we have to be careful though, because we did invert the 5 a little bit higher up. We did sweep some sell side, not major, but did we fill every FEG in the range? No, we do have a down one. And one right here. This could very well be a breakaway gap if we do decide to close. I've seen this before where price comes down slowly, rebalances every single FEG in the range to run higher. So just depends how we leave this. I like the I'm vibing with the new chart style, by the way. If anyone's vibing with that, let me know. Let me know in the comments. We tap the gap here. Get this here. This is a nice long. Is there an M1? I bet there's an M1 too. Okay, so there is an M1 too. So you want to wait for the M1 to close. There is an M1 rather than 30 seconds. The 2 as well. But we'll keep it as the M1 for now. It could just slowly keep trickling down from here though. We'll see. I like to see these close above its 6 candles. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's got 2 more candles here to close if it wants to, otherwise it's dead. It's a no-go. So we're just reacting off it here. It's a shame, really. Yeah, I'm not mad about getting stopped out at break even on this short here. Obviously this is super slow. It would have been a winning trade, but I like to catch these moves, these big, impulsive, high volume moves. So, all right, so we're on our 5th candle here. Let's see if we get the closure. If we don't get the closure here on the 6th candle, I'm gonna go to the toilet because I'm. This is candle number 6. This will need to be one hell of a wick if we're going to close up over the next 15 seconds. All right, well, I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll be back in a sec. Looks like we did get some sort of bullish reaction here. Again, no closure. Apologies, I didn't realize my gain on my mic was that far down. It hasn't been like that all the time. So if we do get the closure here, I'll still take it, but I'm going to take it like much lower risk because we're super slow. We get closure here. placed a limit order instead of a market order. I'm in. So I'm in like super light, like really light, like 2 micros kind of light, because obviously we breached the 6 candle rule. So if we just sort of come back and form something bearish here, then I'm just gonna close the position because I'm quite happy losing like $50 for the cost of patience, you know. So I'm gonna go break even right here at these equal highs. But price is moving so slow that I'm like contemplating whether this is even worth sitting in. I want to see some sort of reaction pretty quick, to be honest. In other words, if we close bearish below this candle, I'm just going to close the position because it's just going to indicate chop to me, and then it's not something I'd rather lose like a tiny bit of money than sit and chop. Like right now, for example. Dude, you got like 3 seconds for the position. Actually, we can wait just a second. If this goes back down and tries to wick, then I'm going to close. Need a bullish closure here. I need a closure back above this inversion. Otherwise, I'm getting out. Just isn't good price action. Looks like we're just going to keep going down here, to be honest. Unless we get some sort of crazy bullish candle, but I'm going to click that close button if we just start tanking or something. I'm being overly cautious here. Maybe overly cautious, but maybe rightfully cautious. We'll see. Like I say, I want to see price absolutely boom here. I don't even want to see any stalling, otherwise I'm closing the position. I've got my cursor over the close position button. So this is technically the next intermediate term high. So I'd go to break even here. Obviously, we've got quite nice bullish momentum here, and we only risked a tiny amount. So, like, for example, if we close this FVG here, I don't really care if we lose like $20, honestly. Which might it looks like we might get that, to be honest. Yeah, all right. I'm closing the position there. I don't really want to be sat in that. All right, so I lost like, what, 57? How much did I actually lose? About $57 on this trade. So, like I say, I don't really care, but it's choppy anyway. And I was quite happy risking a little bit for the trade that we wanted, even though it was late, which is why I went lower risk. So yeah. That's why you always adhere to break even. So my break even rule is the next. So it's the intermediate term high to the left, or one if it forms it while you're in your position. So obviously we closed above here, and then we sort of went down a little bit into the candle and formed this next one. So if this was any normal scenario, I would have put my break even here, and we'd have stopped at break even. But because I literally went so light on the risk, this is, you know, I just like if we lose up to $50 or even up to like 70, 80. I don't really care. So it is. At the end of the day, so it was a risk to reward ratio play, ratio play, and I trust my ability to read price. And as soon as I saw, this big bearish candle here, and then price closed below this IFVG on the 15-second, yeah, I knew it was a wrap. So that's why I closed, and good thing I did. So, yeah. I don't normally trade the 15-second, but sometimes I use the 15-second to micromanage a position, especially in price action like this. So I'm going to end stream there. I hope you enjoyed. I feel like my analysis was pretty good and my ability to read price and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, we took 2 trades. So we took a break-even trade right here, short, and we took a long trade right here, low risk, because we obviously took a while to close above this IVG, and obviously then we took out my break-even point. But because we went such low risk, I actually didn't end up going break even because I wasn't too bothered about the small loss, and I trusted my ability to read price. So as soon as we got this closure below this FVG here, right here, I know it's a wiki closure. I don't normally credit these, but yeah, as soon as we got this closure above the 15-second, I just closed my position. So, lost $57 there, so I don't really care at all, to be honest. 1%. And then the fact that we waited all session, like if this was me 2 or 3 months ago, maybe probably even longer actually, probably about like 4 or 5, I would have got chopped up here. Like I would have taken this 5-minute, but my eyes have been trained to see through this price when it's like this. Now, I would have taken this 5-minute here probably, although it already took the break even, but I probably would have moved my break even to here, and then stopped the break even anyway. So yeah, that's not really too big of a deal. I probably would have taken a shot. I mean, yeah, I don't know, like, it doesn't really matter. Like I stuck to my rules, and it is what it is. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully price action's better tomorrow. Peace.